which is titled, "The Media Hates Women Who Don't Fit the Mold." Every woman fits an archetype. Willingly or not, you're placed into a narrow mold you must morph to as you grow into a young adult. The categories are simple: conventional or unconventional. Your predetermined framework will dictate your place in the world from there on out. The road to external validation and acceptance is far easier for the aforementioned conventional design. Perhaps you're white, blonde, thin, and quiet, with a hint of conformance in your nature. Congratulations! You've won the approval of our big, wide, patriarchal society. 10s across the board. But towards the other end of the spectrum, you face a question. Will you comply with modern standards? Will you fill your lips? Will you straighten your hair? Will you finally shut up? It's no secret that the media is far kinder to those without an unconventional standard working against them. Pick your prejudice. Will you fight with sticks and stones, or rather, pens and pencils? In 2018, Australian political cartoon artist Mark Knight published a heavily dramatized depiction of Serena Williams, a black female tennis player, in Australia's Herald Sun, the most read newspaper in the country. Williams is seen in a fit of rage with wildly frizzy hair, a bulky physique, and most disturbingly, exaggerated facial features. On the contrary, fellow female tennis player Naomi Osaka is seen in the background of the image, modest, thin, and white with a blonde ponytail. Peculiarly, as Osaka is biracial, being of both Japanese and Haitian descent. In many ways, Knight's portrayal of both women is an exemplary depiction of the microaggressions, or other times referred to as dog whistles, surrounding women of color in sports. Firstly, in the erasure of Osaka's identity, manipulating her image to fit archaic Caucasian beauty standards, and secondly, in the double standard regarding both women's skin tones. While Osaka appears to have a lighter complexion than Williams, she is not white, which makes this illustration entirely evident of the media's favoritism towards a skin tone that assumes closeness to whiteness. Especially in tennis, a sport characterized by its overwhelming Caucasian composition. Although Knight has continuously denied that the piece was racist, but rather illustrative of Serena Williams' poor behavior on the court, the cartoon has received overwhelming criticism, as it undoubtedly portrays internal bias towards one player over the other strictly based on their physical appearance, with the National Association of Black Journalists describing it as repugnant. However, as shocking as this depiction is, it's merely a fraction of the plethora of hate surrounding successful, unconventional women in positions of spotlight or power. As a young woman currently speaking before an audience, I deeply empathize with like-minded women in the media who don't have the fortune of a respectful and cooperative crowd like myself. Within the last few years, actress Rachel Zegler has been subjected to endless ridicule, extending from topics of race to her simply being a woman. In 2023, Zegler was featured in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. When asked by the press what made her want to join the DC Extended Universe, she responded honestly, saying, I needed a job. Instantly, Zegler faced harsh criticism, with users on blogs such as Quora claiming that she doesn't have the self-awareness to understand her relationship to the audience. In contrast, however, within the same year, actor Jacob Elordi portrayed Elvis in a 2023 biopic, stating he too needed a job. To which the media responded in a heartfelt manner, claiming his reasoning was the realest thing a celebrity has said in a long time. The double standard regarding men versus women has been notoriously consistent across a multitude of films, but this specific event stood out to me. Why is it that when a woman admits to needing a job, she is labeled as disrespectful, but when a man does it, he's viewed as innocent and honest? As human beings, should women not be allowed to speak their minds? Are we better off sitting pretty? I think not. In the words of Swedish activist Greta Thunberg, the world needs, quote, more angry young women, end quote, like herself, to be a voice for change, especially as the media continuously makes her disability the focal point of a much larger cause. As an environmentalist, Thunberg aims to spread climate change awareness, so how did the conversation ever shift towards criticizing her for her autism? In 2019, American commentator Michael J. Knowles suggested that rather than an environmental activist, Thunberg was a, quote, mentally ill Swedish child, end quote, greatly undermining her power despite suffering from a disability. Similarly, in 2022, journalist Julia Hartley Brewer tweeted amidst an internet battle between social media personality Andrew Tate in Thunberg that she would gladly, quote, choose his life every single time over the life of a half-educated, autistic, doom-mongering eco-cultist, clearly using the label of autistic in a derogatory fashion. Thunberg is a prime example of the media's inability to handle seeing women flourish in society who don't necessarily fit the mold. In addition to outspoken female celebrities, another large conversation surrounding female inequality is body image. At times, the show is mainstream as My 600-Pound Life, 1,000-Pound Sisters, or The Biggest Loser. I wonder how the world will ever progress past the unattainable figure of the early 2000s. Shortly after the release of a 2024 musical rendition of Mean Girls, actress and musician Renee Rapp attributed her eating disorder towards being referred to as a, quote, curvy Regina who was, quote, distractingly big, end quote, in the film. Similarly, social figures such as Jennifer Aniston, Beyonce, and Selena Gomez have all claimed feeling fed up with expectations of perfection when those criticizing aren't perfect themselves. Gomez later replied to online trolls stating she is, quote, not a model, never will be, end quote. To close, I would just like to add that the next time you feel uncomfortable seeing a woman appear on your TV screen who doesn't fit your image of what a woman should be, she is not imperfect, she is a symbol of change. We do need representation of ethnic minorities in sports. We do need more angry young women. We do need a diverse portrayal of body types in the media. The world needs the unconventional female celebrity. Thank you.